Hey y'all, welcome to Music for the Average Joe. Today I will be showing you my all-time favorite piano voicings, and they sound like this. Now usually these are the first chords I play when I sit down at the piano to get into the vibe and inspire myself. Those were the major 9 voicings. We're also going to cover dominant 9 and minor 9 today, and then of course a deeper dive on my Patreon, so stick around. So I will be talking plenty about theory on this channel, but for now we're going to keep it pretty basic. So to build a C major 9 chord, we're going to start on C with a C major scale. That's our 1, skip the next note, E is going to be our 3rd, skip the next note, G is going to be our 5th, skip the next note, and B will be our 7th. Then we're back to C, which will be the 8th, and the next note is D, which will be the 9 chord. And we're just going to try some different inversions of this. So we're going to find middle C, and then down an octave from that is going to be our root. We're going to play that in our left hand. I use my pinky. And then in our right hand, we're going to play the D right above middle C, and then we're going to play the E, G, B. Now I use my fingering, thumb on the D, pointer, E, middle, G, pinky on B. And that's going to be our first chord. Beautiful, right? Now we're going to go to our 4 chord. So we're going to take the F right above that C, or I'm sorry, right below that C, and then in our right hand we're going to play an A minor 7 chord, which I don't want to get too confusing with the theory, but basically an A minor 7 chord over F is an F major 9 chord. So we got A, C, E, G. Let's play that. Beautiful. Now real slowly, we're going to do a 4 count, and we're just going to switch chords each bar between those 2 that we just learned. So let's try that. 3, 4, F. And really you just want to start there in practicing and just go real slow with it. That's how I always practice new things. You want to get it really fluid, but the only way to do that is to practice it slow at first. So now let's check out the dominant chord, the dominant 9. So pretty much we're going to have the same building of this chord with a flattened 7th, which is all a dominant chord is. It's a major chord with a flat 7. So for the C dominant chord, we got the same C as our bass, we got the D above middle C, we got the E, G, and then the flat 7 is going to be B flat. Let's play that. Nice. And similarly for the F chord, we're going to take that same F, then we have A, C, E flat, which is the flat 7 of F major, and then G, which is the 9. Play that. Perfect. So let's try that with the 4 count. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, F7, 2, 3, 4, F9, I'm sorry. So for the minor 9 chord, we're going to play an A minor 9, sticking with the white keys in the key of C, or relative minor, A minor. So we're going to play the A below the C that we just played in our left hand. So 2 A's below middle C. Our right hand is going to start with our thumb on the G below middle C, then the B right below middle C, the middle C, and then the E right above that C. So we got thumb, pointer, middle, pinky playing those, and it sounds like this. Ah, beautiful. A little bit of tension in there with the B and C right next to each other. A minor 9 interval we call that, but it's beautiful. And then we're going to take it to the 4 chord, the minor 4, which would be D. So we're going to jump up a 4th, we're going to play the D above that A that we just played in our left hand. And then we're going to play right above that the F with our thumb, A with our middle finger. We're going to play, A with the pointer finger, C with our middle finger, and E with our pinky. It'll just sound like this. Now that's a little muddy. I think it still sounds good and works for these purposes, but of course if you're playing with a guitar player or in a production with other instruments, you might want to be careful. But that's why we're learning these different inversions, so that we can know when to stay out of the way and not play too low on the piano. And especially on the Patreon deep dive, we're going to really be going into that. Alright, let's have a little fun with this and take it through a progression. So we're going to try and use good voice leading, which all that means is when you switch chords, you don't want to be jumping all over the place and going too high or low from the first chord you play and going into the next chord. If that doesn't make sense, that's okay, but that is why we learn these different inversions, so we can play in the right places and make it sound smooth when we transition from chord to chord. And in the Patreon, we're going to deep dive into more inversions, so we have even more tools in the toolbox for that. So we're going to start with the C major 9 that we learned. Then we're going to be going to C dominant 9, and we are going to play these 1 bar each, 4/4, and we'll get to that. Next we're going to go to our F major 9, and then lastly we'll be playing our D minor 9, and I'm going to switch it up on you here, so I'm actually using the other inversion, not the one that we went through in this lesson. Keep you on your toes, you know. So let's try this. We're gonna count it in, and then we'll just play it nice and slow. So we got C major 9, 2, 3, 4. C, 2, 3, 4. C7, 2, 3, 4. F major 9, 3, 4. D minor 9, 2, 3, 4. So pretty much just practice that progression, take it through other progressions, and that's also something we're going to be doing on the Patreon, is going through a couple different chord progressions. We're going to get jazzy with it, we're going to get poppy with it, maybe a little rock in there. So just practice these really slow, experiment with them, have a lot of fun. And I do just want to say too, the only time I wouldn't really play these chords is if you're playing like a real simple pop song, or like something like maybe like Proud Mary or something along those lines. You don't really want to play a major 9 chord in there. It's a little more harmonic information than is needed. You would just play, you know, a typical major triad for that. So if you all have any questions, let me know. Please subscribe. Please check out the Patreon. There's going to be a lot more on there. And have fun with it. Thanks for tuning in.